Ben McClintock here from defendingutah.org. I was on the Kate Daly show today to discuss some important bills and legislation going through the legislature, from actually promoting outright communists to controlling and increasing the controlling your water, as well as increasing the costs of it, and much more. So make sure you don't miss another report by clicking on the subscribe button, clicking on that bell, as well as becoming a member and supporting this channel and supporting our efforts and becoming a part of the solution by going to defendingutah.org and becoming a member today. Without further ado, my appearance on the Kate Daly program.
So, Ben from defendingutah.org, how are you?
Fantastic. So good to be with you again.
So good to be with you again.
Excellent. I'm glad you're joining us. So much to talk about. So we were just discussing 371 and the committee of mostly stooges said no. And what was the reason, Uncle Milty? 371 is transparency in voting.
Yeah.
What was it?
Well, it just wasn't something that was really. It was going to cause people to be disenfranchised from their
That's
vote.
what they said.
Yeah.
So truth in elections causes people
To
be
be
disenfranchised.
Yeah, because if you're dead and you have to tell the truth,
Awesome.
you can't vote.
Awesome. Boy, go tell those guys what you think. Little Thurston, right? Corey Malloy, right?
Yep.
Who else?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just
that was
the whole list of
the
the
whole list of-
371. You had all these guys that it was a big committee, actually. It was only 3 yes votes. You had Walt Brooks, Lyman, and Peterson, yes, and then you had Daly, Provost, Malloy, Perucci, Pitcher, Thurston, Waldrop, and Welton voting no.
Boy, that's a whole lot of people disregarding their oath. Amazing. Woo. Really
And
trampling.
how are they going
on
to defend themselves as good constitutional conservatives? It just
I don't know.
doesn't fly.
I'm so at a loss, and this is a shame because we need that. And good on Phil for doing that bill, and good on those for voted for it, like Walt. So tell us about resolutions. I want to hear about everything. And by the way, you are speaking March the 10th up in American Fork. People can catch you speaking, right? Where are you speaking?
Yep. I'll be speaking in American Fork at the Hub, and you can also view online. So no matter where you're at, feel free, just go to defendingutah.org and get your tickets. You can view online or come in person. Love to meet you.
Nice.
So
very, very
that's
cool.
on March 10th.
Awesome. I'm speaking tonight at St. George Library, so make sure you go at 6 o'clock.
I'll be
meet
driving down.
I know, right? Please do. And Sophie and Jen will be there talking about all the election fraud that everybody wants to ignore. Okay, so I can't wait. So, okay, tell me about the resolutions.
It's pretty interesting that these guys, they don't want to make voting, have integrity. And so, but then when they show why that might be with their, the legislation that they introduce,
Right.
and, they actually show who they are. And there's a couple of ones. Before I get into the resolutions, there's a bill that I wanted to let everybody know about. It's SB 110, and that is a bill that has been introduced by Buckshot Mike McKell and Ryan Wilcox. And what this bill would do, it would make everybody in the state's water bills go up. It forces each city to adopt water conservation as part of their general plan, and controlling the amount of water you use and through costs and through other regulations. And so this is really one of those integral pieces that they have to be able to implement Agenda 2030 by controlling water. The state controls water, they control your life. So this is a really bad bill that's been introduced, and it passed unanimously in the Senate, and it went to the House Natural Resources Committee, and it received 0 no votes. And Lyman, we just mentioned earlier with that good bill, he actually voted for this bill in committee, so that's disappointing.
I will talk to
Albrecht, Binion, Briscoe, Chu, Handy, Hawks, Kohler, Lyman, Sagers, Ship, Stratton, and Walkins voted for that one. Major Agenda 21 bill.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, more control. I love it. Said no one ever. Jeez. And so okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just keep going. It's just, they did pass the bill for no personal license plates. I don't.
That's important stuff right there.
Well, so I'm surprised Chris Stewart didn't get in on that. Okay, so oh gosh. Okay, so tell us about resolutions.
So good old Vickers. It just really shows his true colors here with Senate Concurrent Resolution number 9, honoring Helen Foster Snow. So who's Helen Foster Snow? I bet you probably nobody knows who she is. But her and her husband were major, from Cedar City, major communists and communist sympathizers and promoters from Cedar City. And she was big friends with Mao Zedong. And her and her husband wrote some books in helping to promote the United States and recognizing Red China during those days. And
why don't they live there? I can't ever figure that part out. Why are they here? I mean, why go run like the wind?
Yeah.
So
well, their job is to promote and to get the United States to recognize Red China, and also support the North Koreans and their communism. And their books to this day, to this day, Communist China recognizes them. Their books are used to propagandize the Chinese youth. And in China, they even have, which is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, of course, they have museums that are dedicated to these people from Cedar City, Utah. You would think, but and so Vickers has a resolution honoring the life and achievements of Helen Foster Snow, this recognized person promoting the Red Chinese communists.
Senator Vickers likes her enough to have these things in his home for her. I mean, he adores her.
He adores her, and so he's introducing this resolution to say, hey, the state of Utah officially recognizes her and honors her as a state.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought he had a shrine in his home.
There's a museum in China, right?
Yeah.
Called the America Has Communists Too.
I don't know what to say. Well, I guess it just doesn't surprise me. Nothing surprises me anymore with these guys. They've been in office forever, and we just keep getting more of the same.
But it's a very obscure individual. Why would he go out and pick this person, except for that? This is what they're famous for. This isn't like something I dug up as their background. This is the major entrance into her Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
This is what she's known for.
When Stalin's dead, you got to go with who's living. My gosh, yes, that would be the person. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't with these guys.
And they actually, along the same lines, they actually funded a statue on the Capitol grounds for Mariner Eccles, who is a major proponent of government-enforced population control and world government under the support of the United Nations, headed up the Federal Reserve. So these guys are supporting people that are really either in favor of or running, building a blood-soaked total dictatorship.
To the victors of the New World Order, to the victors of go the monuments. So doesn't shock me at all. Every time I see something, I'm surprised we're not renaming the I-15 for Harry Reid. I'm sure there are.
It'll be lots probably someday. I'm sure
it'll happen. And it's astounding, but you know what? It's the fact, and they get the monuments. Those for freedom never get that. But these guys, these traitors, little people, they're the ones that get them. So yep. Sounds about right.
She's been dead for years. It's like, why would he even bother to do that? This is a religion to these people. They are religiously dedicated to these things.
It has nothing to do with her. It has to do with promoting communist China.
Exactly.
Boy, I know we're going to see more of this.
The total dictator state goes on. We have Senate Joint Resolution 4 with Wayne Harper. What this does is supports qualified immunity, meaning that an agent of the government, if they violate the law and destroying your liberty, they are immune from prosecution.
Lovely.
And so we're officially on record in supporting that.
Wow. So how far is that bill? How far has that bill gone through? Is it gone through
that bill is in the Judiciary Law Enforcement Criminal Justice Committee right now.
Okay. And they don't have to pay for any of the stuff they do for all of us. How wonderful. I like that. I don't know how DeSantis is going to go on this, but today he's supposed to sign off with hospital pressure on a bill that gives them even more liability for giving people remdesivir and a ventilator. Isn't that great? Yeah.
That's just amazing.
See, I know. Uncle Milty.
The number 7 is the Utah ratified the Equal Rights Amendment to the Constitution.
If that passes, right. I don't think that has too much of a chance, but yeah, that's what they want to do.
Isn't that
kidding me.
something?
You gotta be kidding me.
Well, at least we're conservative.
Well, that one's done by a Democrat, so it has less of a chance. But we have other Agenda 21 bills that are introduced by Republicans, which means they have a better chance. Like we have House Concurrent Resolution 7, which puts the state of Utah officially on record of recognizing global warming and that they want to improve using Agenda 21 programs of having zero emissions in the state of Utah, and that would be completely destructive to our state.
Jeez. Have we not learned? 1995, Harlan Cleveland passing it off because he knew we'd be that stupid. Are we this dumb? I guess we are. Okay.
The House passed unanimously HCR 9, which recognizes Hepatitis Awareness Month and Hepatitis Awareness Day.
Stop it! Come on,
Everybody.
Come on, that's worse than the license plate, personalized license plate bill. Oh, who did that bill?
The same people that passed the Scabies Month.
Your favorite, Jacob Anderegg, was the floor sponsor in the Senate.
Anderegg, of course. That guy is, he frightens me. He frightens me. Be right back with Ben just for a moment. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Kate Gallo Show. I also love defendingutah.org, and I'm always telling you guys, please be a member of defendingutah.org. Sign up, get their newsletters, get their information, and go to their speeches. They just do a stellar job. Ben, defendingutah.org, right? I'm still reeling over Hepatitis Month. Anderegg,
It's important.
It's a real bill, right?
It's a real, unfortunately.
It's a real. I'm waiting for Syphilis Month. I was really hoping for Syphilis Month. I'm so, I guess when you have to look busy, right? And all the ideas have been taken, you go to Hepatitis Month. I don't know. You have to look busy, so you got to look like you're doing something, I guess.
They use these resolutions to change the culture and to trigger future actual bills. And so, like the other ones that we've talked about, they all started, like the one about controlling your water, they all started off with resolutions in supporting certain things. And so they start this way and then they move forward.
Yeah, danger of resolutions,
exactly.
For sure.
And people don't look at them because like, oh, it's just a resolution. It doesn't actually, that's not the force of law. Well, it's puts the state of Utah in official position, like we have with Vickers' bill of supporting an outright communist.
Right.
And so it sets the tone studying forward. And also some of them actually do, like there's a resolution that actually designates state parks. And so some of these resolutions really do have the force of law. There's another resolution that is when they don't pass law, what they do is they change rules. They can do it through a resolution. And so what they're doing with one of these resolutions actually changes what evidence is allowed in court. And so they're saying there's let's see here. I'm trying to get so HJR 2, House Joint Resolution 2 amends the rules of evidence on admissibility. So if they're trying to convict you of a crime, if they have evidence of you committing another crime, they can use that as evidence that you've committed this other crime. And so
how convenient.
They're just grabbing power as much as they can to be able to try and control the people. Right. One that is really dangerous, not because of what it does, but because of the precedents that it sets for the future, is House Concurrent 1, which has been unanimously supported by both the House and the Senate, not a single no vote. And what this does is it says it's a resolution to work together to address the climate, public lands, and carbon sequestration. Okay. So that just sounds really boring, but you look at the second, I think you can tell that it's addressing climate change. The second paragraph says it's referencing the United Nations and their climate meetings, and how it even says so. This is in the bill. President Biden announced a new plan to conserve global forests, halt forest loss, restore critical carbon sinks, et cetera, et cetera. And so they're using Biden, our great Republican legislature, is referencing the United Nations, President Biden, as this new policy shift in the state of Utah to implement Agenda 2030.
Uncle Milty?
You know, in most cases, they shouldn't call them resolutions. They should just say House concurrent propaganda.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too, because I'm not quite sure. We're getting to the point very, very fast here. Why do we need individual state legislatures anymore? Because what they're doing, they're passing around all of the same bills, all the same resolutions, and it's like this whole ground effort, right? This ground game to get these things in as many states as they can. So what these guys do is they copy bills from all over, and then call them their own. And that's what's so sad, is that when they do it, the other states don't know they're doing it, and they think it's individual to their state, even and it's so wrong, even that. But it's the ground game I don't like.
Well, it also gives them an idea ahead of time if anybody's paying attention.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. And that's why they're able to get like 20 states on the same kind of bill, you know? It's really pathetic.
They're on the national level, they have it, international level, and there are organizations trying to, there's the Uniform Law Commission. Its job is to make all the laws uniform across the board. And so that, this darn Constitution means we're a union of 50 different republics. They're trying to make it basically a nation with 50 districts that they get to control.
Right. And all uniform legislation. And so every single time a bill comes out, we just need to go look around too and corner them on that, as far as, so you just stole this bill that's going into 20 other states too. Nice ground game, liberal agenda for Agenda 21 for everything else. And what are we? Cogs in the wheel of this, and more than walking to it? That's pretty gross. Yeah. So, anything else?
So just want to let folks know, again, to go to defendingutah.org to register for our event March 10th. I'll be speaking on the idea of there's nothing we can do about it, and giving a positive solutions-based presentation that's really encouraging, because a lot of people think that, prophecy says that this is all inevitable. And so I debunk that idea, show the origins of that idea, and show what we can do about it. So that's on March 10th. And you can watch online or in person up in American Fork. Or we also have, we want to encourage everybody to do free online. We want as many people to do this, understand why the legislature is doing what they're doing. We have our Liberty Boot Camp. You just go to defendingutah.org, click on the Learn tab, and we go through and help you better understand the principles of the Constitution, what's in the Constitution itself, as well as the threats to it. What are these organizations in the state of Utah that are implementing these things behind closed doors? It gets into that, all free. Go to defendingutah.org.
Incredible. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Really appreciate
Thank you. Good
Thanks,
to see you guys.
Utah.
Milt, your new book is called The End of the World. Now, can you tell us when it's going to be, or do we have to buy the book?
Well, I predict that the world will end at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve.
This year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cutting it a little bit close, isn't it? I mean, okay, but I think my other guest may disagree with you. Elaine, now you had another date in mind.
According to my source, the end of the world will be on February 14th in the year 2016.
Valentine's Day. Bummer.
Come and join me on March 10th, 2022, where I will be presenting in American Fork on the concept of what is our role in the liberty movement and how is it related to the events preceding and leading up to the second coming of our Lord. There's a lot of misconceptions about that. We want to be able to debunk a lot of these myths, that there's nothing we can do about it and that we should just allow things to get as bad as we can. Maybe that'll usher in the second coming. We'll be debunking that and talking a lot about what we can do and how we affect the events of the last days timelines. That's March 10th, 2022. The link to get your tickets, you can watch online or visit us or be there in person with me in American Fork. Just the link right there is in the description, and we'll see you March 10th.